We're going to start off today with sausage stuffing, which is a family recipe of mine that goes back 3 generations. And by all means, if you prefer not to use sausage in your stuffing, you're welcome to just make it without. But it's a nice little change of pace for people that have never had a sausage stuffing before.
Sounds good. So you're going to teach me this one. So what am I doing?
Well, what we're going to do first is we're going to take our sausage links. We've got breakfast sausage, gluten-free. We're going to remove the sausage meat from the casing.
Okay.
And we've used about 24 sausage links, which is about 2 packages of your breakfast sausage that you would get. And then we're going to you're going to mash up your sausage, and this is a pork sausage. You're going to mash them up into fine bits so that when you make the dressing, you get a nice dispersion of sausage all the way throughout the dressing.
So if somebody didn't like pork sausage, could they use beef sausage?
They could substitute whatever they
turkey?
like. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
And then after that is mashed up, we're going to put it in the frying pan, and we're going to cook that down and add some seasoning, salt and pepper to taste, as well as a little bit of onion and celery to the mixture afterwards. And while you're doing that, Lori, I'm going to use some of our bread, white sandwich bread and our brown sandwich bread as the base for the stuffing. And I'm going to use 1 loaf of each, and I'm going to cut them into about 1/2 inch to 3/4 inch cubes. My mother always taught me to be very consistent with your cubes so that you don't get inconsistencies in your stuffing. So.
Okay, and I'm just going to wash my hands before I start with the rest.
We'll start off with the white sandwich bread. I do about 4 or 5 slices at a time, and I keep that way I can keep control of the slices and they don't crumble underneath the pressure. The bread itself, you can use fresh bread directly from us, or you can use it just right out of the freezer like you would buy it at a retail store. Either works just fine. Nice consistent cubes, and then right into a big bowl. Make sure your bowl is a little larger than what you're going to put into it so that you've got some room to mix everything after we get all the ingredients in. Sausage is sizzling away.
It is.
Now, my mom also used to cut up the bread cubes even the day before and just leave them wrapped on the counter, just to save a little time on the day that you're making your meal, because it's a pretty busy day from start to finish, so a little extra time is always nice to have.
Mm-hmm. So if you wanted to use bread cubes or bread crumbs, could you use that?
Oh, sure you could. Yeah, you just substitute them just the same amount.
Okay.
Bread crumbs, you're obviously going to get a little finer stuffing, but I like to use the bread cubes because you get a little bit more volume. You can stuff your turkey as well as have a little extra on the side, because stuffing is something that I'm sure once you have a chance to try it, you'll have seconds, and there's never quite enough. So seasoning the sausage with a little salt and pepper.
And this we're just doing to taste.
Yeah. The recipe is, this is a longtime favorite of ours, and it's been around for generations. And one thing that's nice about a lot of the recipes that we work with here in the Kinnikinnick kitchen is we take original recipes that are not gluten-free, and we show you easy ways to make them gluten-free so that you can share them with everybody in your family. And even people that come over that may not be gluten-free will love them, and they won't know the difference.
That's the best part. They come over and they don't even realize. In my family, we like to do a stuffing that is more seeds and fruit. So I would use the sunflower flax bread, or the Robin's honey brown, or the brown sandwich. And I would add some apples and some pecans or walnuts to it. And then the roasted sunflower seeds in there just adds a really nice flavor.
Yeah. One thing that's nice about stuffing is really you can make it
anything
to your own taste.
For sure.
Whatever you like. I'm just going to toss these a little bit. Intermingle the white bread with the brown bread. And don't be shy in getting your hands in there. That's the beauty of cooking at home, is you can just get right in there. All right.
Okay. So to the pork sausage, we're going to add the 3 sticks of celery and 1 medium onion. And I prefer fresh herbs, so we're going to use some fresh herbs and some dry herbs today. And whenever you buy herbs, always make sure that it is gluten-free. And if you're not 100% sure, make sure that you contact the manufacturer.
And there's also lots of resources out there that you can access to find companies that make gluten-free herbs, whether it's the Canadian Celiac Association. They've got a great pocket dictionary that's available that gives you some brands that you can feel comfortable with. And in the U.S., I'm sure that the other celiac support group organizations also have that type of information available.
Yeah, there's a lot of information out there that used to not be available. So. Now we could do this one of 2 ways. We could saute the vegetables first and then add the cooked pork to it, yes?
Yeah, you can.
Okay.
It's I like to saute them. I like to just do them all together.
Yeah.
When you add them in, they've got lots of time to commingle their flavors in the oven as well when they're working with the turkey.
Okay.
Now we've got a medium white onion.
Yeah.
We've pre-cut it, diced it.
I didn't feel like crying on camera today, so we pre-sliced it.
Well, there's a special trick to that, but I'm not quite sure what it is. We'll have to investigate that.
They say if you put it in the fridge prior to slicing it, that it helps the juices to stay in and it doesn't make you cry as bad. Okay, so I'm going to throw the fresh herbs into here. We're just about done. The sausage is nicely cooked. We want to make sure that it is cooked before we're putting it in the bird, because we want to make sure we don't make anybody sick during dinner.
Absolutely. The smell is great.
Oh, I can smell that
Those
fresh
fresh
sage.
herbs are just incredible.
Okay, so we're going to go right into the bread.
Right into the bread.
Oh, I can smell that.
Now I'm just going to borrow the spoon for a second.
You betcha.
So that we can toss this a little bit like this. I'd get right in there with my fingers right away, but that sausage is pretty hot. So we'll let it mix around. Now we're going to add some of the dried spices.
Yep. So we're going to add about 2 teaspoons of poultry seasoning, but use whatever you prefer. Taste each to their own.
One thing I always remember is when my grandma was making this, she would put in her seasonings, and then my mom would come along and just throw in a little extra, because she loved poultry seasoning and sage. So. To this day, I've always learned to get my nose right in there and make sure it smells wonderful.
Okay, and we're going to use about a teaspoon of sage, because we've already put fresh sage in there, and that's going to come out while the turkey is in the oven.
Absolutely. Okay, we're nicely mixed.
Okay.
Smells awesome. I think we're ready to stuff the bird.
Okay. So now we're going to stuff our bird, but before we stuff our bird, we're just going to do a little bit of a handle to help us get it out of the pan, just in case you don't have a rack when you're making your turkey. So what we've done is we've taken a piece of